Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Akakwadash. Next double honors to apostles, elders, bishops of Great Millstone at Rulewell. Salutation to the elect in the four, scattered in the four corners of this earth, pushing this truth in sincerity and in meekness. Alright, there's the brother Iowab from GMS Guyana. Alright, coming to you with another edifying lesson, which is to edify you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians. Alright. And, before I go on, I must say, fair use, fair use, fair use. This video that I'm about to play, alright, it's not for any monetary purpose, but for edification only. Alright? So, with that, alright, just want to share a little lesson, a quick lesson, which is from this Facebook reel, alright? For a lot of you that watch my video, I like to do videos on these, prophecies, alright, that shows up on these Facebook reels, alright, and it is, basically talking about the Neuralink chip, alright, that is implanted in people's brain, alright, and, we know that these men that promote these things, alright, is what? Antichrist, alright? It's just Antichrist, which means against, anti mean against, alright? And Christ, which means anointed, alright? They're against the anointed ones, alright? And they're also false prophets, alright? Because they are telling our people that it's okay to receive these things, alright? And Neuralink is the best way, alright? The best way to go, alright? And in this video, you're going to see, a demonstration with this fellow, looks like a jig, alright? And he's going to demonstrate the implant of Neuralink chip in his brain, alright? And what it does, alright? And then we're going to get some scriptures, to prove that all these things are prophecy, all right, written in the scriptures, all right. So how can people say that, hey, the scriptures is a fairy tale? How can people say the Bible is a fairy tale book, all right, when you see prophecies unfolding each and every single day, all right? To those people I say, how Bashim Yahushai, Mashapat, all right. Without further ado, let me go on.
Microchip or something. What's your take on that?
Well, first, let's look at the text. The original language doesn't imply a physical implant. It's more about a symbol of allegiance. And then even after they remove the implant, I could still move the mouse with my mind.
The whole judge not thing.
Because it's tricky, right?
It is, because people throw that around, but they don't really.
Elon Musk's Neuralink has been implanting computer chips into the brains of animals since at least 2016.
A lot of people think the mark of the beast is
all right, and I might be wrong, all right. This look like a man that was in the military, all right. Probably something must have happened to him, all right, and he implanted the Neuralink, all right. But I have to look up this guy, all right, to know if he was a part of the military in America, because the way how his posture is, all right, it tells a lot, all right. It tells a lot. So if you look carefully, all right, at the side of his head, by his temple, all right, you would see a mark there, all right, which shows you that something, that his temple was cut and something had to be implanted there, all right, to go into his brain, all right. So let me get back to the video.
Kind of futuristic technology, but
All right, everyone, give me some room back here, yeah?
It's more about a system of control that's been around for a long time.
Fly. I said, fly. Oh my God!
A lot of people think the Antichrist is some sort of supernatural being, but if you really look at the texts,
Are you thirsty?
it's more of a political figure, a false prophet, someone who deceives through rhetoric, not magic. That's the part people miss.
You know, people have been looking for signs in the stars and in ancient texts for centuries, trying to predict the end times.
You know, the whole judge not lest you thing. Right. It's not just a suggestion, you know, it's like a warning.
The thing about these theories is they're not based in verifiable facts.
It's more of a cultural panic, if you ask me.
The thing about reality is we think it's fixed, but it's not. It's malleable.
That's the hard part to wrap your head around, right?
It's like we're all just projecting this thing, you know? And if we all just shifted that projection, reality could just change.
So you're saying the line between what's real and what's not is just thinner than we think?
Oh, that's a shame.
Yo, leave that alone, it's dead.
Fly. I said fly.
So let's talk about this mark of the beast thing. I keep hearing people say it's going to be a microchip or something. What's your take on that?
Well, first,
All right. But first and foremost, it is a microchip. All right. That's the mark of the beast. All right. It says so in the book of let me get it, Revelation. All right. I may be sounding like a broken record. All right. But these scriptures is real. All right. The book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 16. All right. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right. And for those of you who are sober and awake, all right, and is looking at these little videos that they have storing on the internet, all right, you will see that a lot of these people right now, all right, they're advertising the micro chip, all right, and they're showing you how to implant it in your skin, all right. So if you go on YouTube, you just type in RFID micro chip, all right, you're gonna see a lot of these videos popping up and how they implant them, all right. So you have to receive the mark, all right. And there's a lot of videos we did, all right. The men of GMS, we did a lot of videos, all right, breaking down what is that mark, all right. And you know, which we know what it is, all right, that have to be implanted in your hand or in your forehead or any part of your skin, all right. We know it has to be implanted, all right. And that's and if you're sober enough, you would see that's where, all right, this system is going to, all right. Because when you have to receive a digital ID card, all right, and they're telling you to open a bank account, all right, it's clearly to show you that, you know, this system is beginning to go digital, all right. And it's okay to receive the digital ID card. It's okay to receive to open a bank account, all right, because you have to go on with the system. But it's not okay to receive the micro chip, All right. Notice in the video, all right, the fellow was keep saying that the Neuralink, all right, people are mistaking it, all right, but we know that these things lead up to where they want us, all right, because, and he says what, a lot of people misinterpret the Antichrist, all right, which I explained before, all right. Anti means against, Christ means anointed, all right. See, if you are against the anointed ones, basically you are Antichrist, all right. If you are against the scriptures, all right, basically you're Antichrist. If you are against this word, all right, this word tell you not to receive any mark, all right. This word tell you not to don't make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, all right. So that clearly shows that the fella is Antichrist, all right, and even a false prophet, because you see the crowd that he's gathering, and everybody's amazed at these things that he's doing. All right, everybody's amazed when you see the bird that looks like he's dead. All right, he picks up the bird and tell him to what? Fly. All right, and when the bird open his eyes and fly, all right, probably could have been what the thing name, a bird with a C hip implanted in it, all right, that he can translate to it, all right, that he could tell it to what to do, so the bird could drop there and look like if he died, because he said what, he control with his brain, he can control computers and these things. So if this bird has a C-hip implanted in it, he can basically control the bird, all right, because keep in mind they said that Elon Musk was putting these Neuralink C-hip into animals since 2016, all right. Correct me if I'm wrong, all right, in the comments, but that it is what it is, all right. That's why the scripture says in the book of in Matthew chapter 24, all right, and verse 24, all right, it says, for there shall arise false Christ, which false Christ go back to what? Antichrist, all right. It says, and false prophets, all right, and these are false prophets, all right. These are also false prophets, all right, because you could say, yeah, they're considered false prophets because they're teaching, that they're teaching followers to what? To go and receive the Neuralink. They're trying to show them that it's okay. This is what you can do with it. All right? It says, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders. All right? And isn't he showing what? Great signs and wonders? Keep in mind he was levitating from off the ground. All right? All these things can be possible. All right? This is why the scripture says in let me get it and then I'm going to get back to this precept. 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and 11, believe. First Corinthians. Let me see. Slovakia. First or Second Corinthians chapter 2 and 11. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So we're not ignorant of this man's these devils, all right, their devices, because it could do almost anything, because they're trying to be like the Most High, all right. They're trying to be like Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai, all right. They're trying to say that they are the gods of this world, all right. And a lot of people are falling for their trap, all right. That's why the scripture says back in the book of Matthew chapter 24, all right, with all these signs and wonders, all right, that we're seeing. Let me read it. It says, Matthew 24:24, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. All right. So if it were possible, but it's not possible, all right, for them to deceive the elect, all right, because we know of these things. We know these things, what it is, all right. We know what the world is turning to, all right. We know that taking these things is against Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai's will, all right. So we know that this is the device of the wicked, all right. And I'm gonna name this lesson, all right. All right. I'm gonna name this lesson. Basically, another one of Esau devices, pushing forth. All right. Another one of Esau's devices pushing forth. All right. So it clearly shows, how this man, all right, thinks, all right, and how we want this world to become, or the people to become, all right. This is a mean of control, all right, because basically I believe through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai that the bird, has a sea hip inside, all right, which this man, by he have the implant in his brain, all right, can control that bird, all right, with his implant in his brain, all right. So keep in mind, these are what Esau's devices, all right. So that's why it says, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. But it is not possible for them to deceive the elect, all right. It is not possible, all right. That's what the scripture says in the book of let me get it. Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. Yeah, Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. All right. And these things was written, the book of Revelations was written, a long time before all these things, all right, come to pass, or are coming to pass. All right. And we know that, these scriptures is 100% accurate. All right. So how can a man say that he don't believe in these scriptures? All right, it clearly shows that the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is not with them, with these people that say that the scriptures is not accurate. We know the scriptures is accurate. We've seen these prophecies unfolding each and every single day. All right, we're seeing the devices of the wicked, pushing forward each and every single day. All right, which lines up with the scriptures. Or else, how else can we do videos to warn you or to edify the body of these things? All right. Let me get back to the video. Bear with me.
So let's talk about this mark of the beast thing. I keep hearing people say it's going to be a microchip or something. What's your take on that?
Well, first, let's look at the text. The original language doesn't imply a physical implant. It's more about a symbol of a...
They're saying the original language doesn't imply a physical implant. What? These niggas don't know nothing. The scriptures tell you that's why when you read, when you go into the word mark, all right, in the Hebrew or in the Greek, I would say in the Greek word, it says karagma. All right, you go into the root word, it says what? Karax. All right, there's a lot of videos we do with these things. All right, and as I said, it's a quick lesson. All right, I'm not going to go into it now. All right, probably the next time I'm going to, go into depths. All right, but we go back to these language to get the breakdown of these words, and it says a physical implant. So how can you say it's not a physical implant?
So let's talk about this mark of the beast thing. I keep hearing people say it's going to be a microchip or something. What's your take on that?
Well, first, let's look at the text. The original language doesn't imply a physical implant.
The original language does implies of a physical implant. It does implies. All right, that's to show you that these are all false prophets. All right, they're to set snares and trap for our people to what? To receive these things. All right.
More about a symbol of allegiance. And then even after they remove the implant, I could still move the mouse with my mind.
The whole judge not thing.
Because it's tricky, right?
It is, because people throw that around, but they don't really.
Elon Musk's Neuralink has been implanting computer chips into the brains of animals since at least 2016.
You hear? The Neuralink was implanted in animals since 2016. All right, so these boards that they were showing, all right, could have a Neuralink implant. All right, they could have a Neuralink implant. That's why he was able to control or to talk to the board and tell him, hey, basically fly. All right, because the same Neuralink that is in him, the same Neuralink CF is in the board also. That's why I said I believe in the spirit that the board have a Neuralink implant.
A lot of people think the mark of the beast is some kind of futuristic technology, but
All right, everyone, give me some room back here,
if you really look at the text, it's more about a system of control that's been around for a long time.
Yeah, and he's right. It's more about a system of control, and it's been around for a long time. That's correct. The fella's on point. All right, but it is a physical implant in order to get a system of control. All right, just like we're going to do this board.
Fly. I said fly. Oh my God! A lot of people think the Antichrist is some sort of supernatural being, but if you really look at the texts,
Are you thirsty?
it's more of a political figure, a false prophet, someone who deceives through rhetoric, not magic. That's the part people miss.
You know, people have been looking for signs in the stars and in ancient texts for centuries, trying to predict the end times.
You know, the whole judge not lest you thing.
Right.
It's not just a suggestion, you know, it's like a warning.
The thing about these theories is they're not based on any verifiable facts, you know?
It's more of a cultural panic, if you ask me.
The thing about reality is we think it's fixed, but it's not. It's malleable.
That's the hard part to wrap your head around, right? It's like we're all just projecting this thing, you know? And if we all just shifted that projection, reality could just change.
So you're saying the line between what's real and what's not is just thinner than we think?
Oh, that's a
All right, and he's trying to say that we all should shift to the projection, meaning to shift to the system. That is clearly a false prophet there for you. All right. You're saying to what? To shift up to this system? Nah. All right. That ain't what the scriptures say. All right. That's not what the scriptures say. All right. But you know, it is what it is. You know, hope this lesson was edifying. Until next time, I say shalom. You know, about babal to this wicked system.